We've got 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. Okay. What's our a value? A is 2, yeah. So our a is 2. And what's our b? 3. And our c is negative 5. Okay. All right, so we just want to plug that into our quadratic formula. Okay. So quadratic formula looks like this. We've got x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay? Sing it a few times and you'll have it down. So it's just a matter of careful substitution. Watch out for negatives. Okay. We've got negative 3 plus or minus square roots. 3 squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. Oh, my c is wrong. C is negative 5, right? Okay. Now, 9 times out of 10, this is where you're going to make your mistake right here. Okay. What does this simplify to? We got 9 positive. So where's the positive coming from? Negative times a negative. Okay, so watch out for that sign. That changes everything. So 9 and a negative times a negative. That's going to be positive. Okay, 4 times 2 is 8 times 5 is 40. Okay, so this is going to be negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 9 plus 40 all over 2. 4, thank you. 2 times 2. Whoop. Okay. And that works out nice because that 49 is going to be able to take the square root, right? Plus or minus the square root of 49. Okay. And we know the square root of 49, right? 7. So this is negative 3 plus or minus 7. Okay. And here's where we have to break it up. So this plus or minus has kind of been coming along. Okay. And so we've got to split this up into 2 answers. Negative 3 plus 7 over 4 and negative 3 minus 7 over 4. Okay. And this makes 4 over 4, which is 1. Negative 3 minus 7 is negative 10. Negative 10 fourths or negative 5 fourths. 5 halves. Okay. Cool. Any questions there? That's it. That easy. Now, the question is, could we have factored this?
Yes.
Yeah, how do you know?
Well,
Because math?
Yes, it was on the hand, and then I factored normally first, and then I checked it with that.
Yeah. Well, the answer is yes. And here's why. These don't have any square roots in them. Okay? So these don't have any square roots. It would have factored. All right? They're nice rational solutions. Rational just means fractions. Okay? So we have rational answers. So that means we could have. Now, it's got a 2x there, so it would have taken a little bit of work with the AC method. Or actually, I don't know if I would have wasted my time with the AC method because I see a 2 and a 5, and they're prime numbers. Okay, I think this is probably like a 2x plus 1 and an x minus 5 or something like that. So, all right. But yes, they're rational solutions, so we could have factored that. All right, cool. Oh, hey, let's see. Remember, we can check this on a graph. Let's keep in touch with that. 2x squared plus 3x. Then I might leave you to some of the details. Right there's fine. That's great. Thank you very much. On the video, okay? So I'll leave you to some of the details. Let's try. Let's see. Well, let's just take some practice time with this. The key here is to subtract that 4. Get that? Set it equal to 0, okay? Now plug it into your quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. X equals negative 3 plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Got it down yet?
I wrote AC because you sang it. Wait a minute, that's not AC.
I would recommend writing the numbers out first. I know we all like to take different shortcuts, but your safest bet is to write it out, and then, depending on how good your arithmetic skills are, simplify it up. Got negative 3. Nine plus, right? 32. All over 4.
Why is it plus 32? I thought it was a negative.
We got a negative 4. That's a positive 2. It almost looks like a negative, but it's supposed to be a positive 2.
Why is that a negative 4?
Why is that negative 4?
The formula is minus 1.
Because we had to subtract it over.
Oh.
So we got to set it, make it equal to 0, bring it over. Good question. Okay. And, well, the good news is we can't go much further. That's a 41. And can you simplify the square root of 41? Nope. Okay, we're done. My open math will want this as 2 answers. The 2 answers are negative 3 plus the square root of 41 and negative 3 minus the square root of 41. Okay, so there's 2 answers there. That's what my open math will want. Okay, so you can write it as plus minus for our purposes here. Yeah.
So on number 2,
Yeah.
since the equation says a negative, but it's already a negative,
Right.
does it turn into a positive?
That's a very good question, and that's true. Yes. Okay. So we're going to have x equals, and this is a place where lots of mistakes can happen. So we've got x equals negative b, so it's negative 12, which is going to be positive 12, right? For now, I'm going to put negative 12, all right? But, you know, as you get into this, you're just going to put positive 12. Yep, that's right. Square root. Now, you got to be careful here, too. B squared? Is that correct? Not really. If you type that in your calculator, it's going to give you negative 144. And that is not going to be negative 144. It's negative 12 squared, which will be positive 144, okay? If you were to type in your calculator. Negative 12 times negative 12. Without the parentheses, it's negative 144. With the parentheses, it's positive. Okay, so 4AC all over 2A. Okay, so that cleans up to 12 plus or minus. This is 144. What's 4 times 4 times 9? That's 16. What is that? Is it 144? I think it is, right? So this is the square root of 144 minus 144. That's going to be interesting. And those guys just go away, right? Okay. So x equals 12 plus or minus 0. Well, what's 12 plus 0? 12. 12 minus 0? 12.
Only 12.
So it's 12 over 18. And 6 goes into both of those. 2/3. So we only get one answer. Okay, the last one had two answers. We had negative 3 plus the square root of 41 over 4 and negative 3 minus the square root of 41 over 4. Okay, by the way, keep in mind this is just an ugly decimal number, right? Negative 3 plus the square root of, let's see, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's see. This is so two answers or one answer. All right. Let's look at a couple more here. Okay, what if we get this? What's the first thing you want to do? Add 2. You got to make it equal to 0. Add 2 to both sides, right? So 2x squared plus 4x plus 2. Okay. So we've got x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Oh. Okay, we have negative 4 plus or minus the square root. We've got 16 minus 4 times 2 times 2. Is that also 16? Okay. Well, this one came out to one answer also, right? So this is negative 4 plus or minus 16 minus 16 is 0, right? So that's just 0. And so we got negative 4 over 4, which is negative, no. Okay? All right. Try that next one real quick. Try number 4 there. All right. This one more. This one gets interesting. Fun stuff happens there. Got to set it equal to 0 first. Get that 5t out of there, right? Subtract it from both sides. something weird happens, right? Ooh, this is a T, not an X, right? We got to change our song. T equals negative B. B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. All right. So what's going on here? We've got 5 plus or minus. We got 25 minus 32 going on in there, right? And that gives us a negative 7 inside. Did we get a negative 7? So this guy's a positive 25, right? Negative 5 squared minus 4 times 4 times 2 is 32. 25 minus 32 gives us negative 7. Uh-oh. So, what does the negative do? I, right? I. Okay, so 5 plus or minus I root 7 all over 4. And, well, there it is. Well, we might kind of like to write this in standard form because it is imaginary. Okay, so remember, standard form means separating the two fractions. Put the I out there by itself. Let's practice that. 4 plus or minus. So 5 divided by 4 and square root of 7 divided by 4. Okay. For our purposes, this is okay unless you are asked to put it in standard form A plus BI. Okay? And again, my open math is definitely going to want 5 fourths plus square root of 7 fourths I and comma 5 fourths minus square root of 7 fourths I. Okay? So it's 2 answers. Questions there?
If we were to write it the first way on the top, on the test.
That's fine. Test, that's fine. Either way is fine. Yeah. Unless
Unless
it says write in standard notation. Then it would be partly wrong. Okay, so, well, what can happen here, okay? So here we got 2 answers. Here we got 1 answer. Here we got 1 answer, 1 real answer. Here we got no real answers. Okay? And if we look real quickly at the graph of these, 2 solutions, 1 solution, or no real solution, okay? And so, that's going to be important in a moment, okay? So, all right, so we got some summary of some methods real quickly, okay? If b is 0, you want to use the square root method. In other words, if there's no x term, use the square root method, okay? If it's factorable, then factor. That sure is easy, right? If it's easily factorable. If it's not factorable, well, quadratic formula or completing the square, but probably quadratic formula, okay? So, what would you use for this first one? We're just going to think of a method. Okay, we could complete the square. Yeah, we could divide by 5 and then complete the square. Yeah, that's a good idea. That would work. Okay. The only problem is if I divide by 5, I'm going to get this. And when I complete the square, I got to do 5 halves. So that'd be okay, but not our favorite. But could we factor it? Yeah, that would probably be good too. Because if you could factor this, pull out an x, right? This is x times x plus 5. Okay, don't forget about that kind of factoring. Okay, so yeah, factoring would be a good one here. Okay, in fact, I might give that a double star. Okay, probably your most straightforward choice. Okay, what about this guy? Ooh, do you think you can factor that thing? No way. I don't think factoring. Completing the square, do you want to take 3 divided by 12? No. Okay. AC, it might work. Yeah, I kind of not sure, but this is a quadratic formula probably. Go use the quadratic formula here. When you've got A, B, and C in there, don't even mess around. Just go with the quadratic formula. What about this guy? What kind of method? Do you want to plug this whole thing in the quadratic formula? You could, by the way, this is 35x squared plus 0x minus 20 equals 0, right? That's the same thing. You could plug in a 0 for b because there is no b. But that's a lot of extra work because what method would be really easy?
Square root method?
Square roots. Yeah. Okay, why?
B is equal to 0.
B is equal to 0. Just add the 20, divide by 35, square root, and we're pretty much done. Right? Okay. So if there's no b term, you just definitely want a square root. If it's easily factorable, then factor. Okay? All right.
A,
Cool? What?
on
Yeah?
A, in the same
Yeah.
way that we could plug in a 0 on C.
Yeah.
Can you also do the same thing on A out of curiosity?
And use the quadratic formula? Yeah, you can always use a quadratic formula because you can always get all the terms over to one side and you have an A, B, and C, and if there is no term there, make it 0. Yeah. So, we just might be doing a lot of work for... So, okay. So, a couple of things that we've kind of have already kind of talked about, all right? So, we see that we get 2 solutions sometimes, 1 solution, and no solution, okay? So, if we use the quadratic formula here, we want to figure out how many real solutions here. Okay? How many real solutions do we get? Well, let's do kind of a quick version of this, not to drag it out. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay. What's that inside become? 0, right? 16 minus 4 times 4, that's 0, right? So this is just x equals, and this whole bit here becomes 0. So this is just negative 4 over 2. You guys agree? 0 goes away. Negative 4 over 2. Okay. One solution. Okay. Well, how about the next one? It looks all pretty similar, but now we got a plus 3 there. And let's see. X equals negative 4 plus or minus square root 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 3. What's the inside become? 2, 4, 6. Let's see. It's a 16 minus 12. 4, yeah. Okay. So negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 4. Ooh, that's a nice one, right? So that's negative 4 plus or minus 2. Okay. So negative 4 plus 2 is 6. No, it's not. That's negative 4 plus 2. So we got to go 2 different ways here. Whoop. Negative 4 plus 2 over 2. And negative 4 minus 2 over 2. Okay, are you seeing two solutions? This is negative 2 over 2. That's negative 1. Okay. And then negative 6 over 2. It's negative 3. Okay, so that one worked out to two solutions. One solution on the first one, two solutions on the second one. How many do you think we're going to have on the third one? All of them. Maybe. Let's see. This one will be a quick one. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac
There's two solutions.
all over 2a. Okay. What happens inside the square root? 16 minus 20. Negative 4, right? Okay. So negative 4 over 4. Now, does this give us any real solutions? No, because this is worth 2i, right? Okay. So this is negative 4 plus or minus 2i over 4.
Is it supposed to be over 2?
Thank you. It is over 2. Good, good, good. Sorry about that. Too many 4s there.
Like you can divide the negative 4, right?
Okay, that's a good question. Yeah. Okay, so it should be over 2, not 4. Sorry about that. Good catch. Thank you. Okay. And we can't, 2 does divide them both, right? Be careful. It's got to divide them both. Don't just divide one. If this was not there, and this will, if that was not there, you'd be done. Okay, so if there was no 2 there, like I just magically erased it, okay, we'd be done. But it is there. And so 4 divides both of them, and we get negative 2 plus or minus I. Okay. So, what happens? The question was, how many real solutions do we have? None there. So here we have no real solutions, 0 reals. Here we have 2 reals. And here we have 1 real. Okay? So we can have 1 real solution, 2 real solutions, or 0 real solutions. Here's their graphs down below. Where are those solutions? Kind of fuzzy and small, I realize. But the solutions is where the parabola equals 0. So it equals 0 there. By the way, that's negative 2. Okay, it's the x-intercept. So the x-intercept are the solutions, are real solutions. Okay? Okay, so there's one x-intercept there. That's our one solution. How about the next one? Need to make some better pictures. These are pretty. Ugh, we all need glasses. Okay. Oh, that's not the x-axis. I can't even find the x-axis. There's the x-axis right there. Okay. It crosses twice. There's 2 x-intercepts. Okay. And where does this last one cross the x-axis? It doesn't. Okay? No real solutions. Okay? So, all right. So, consider this. At what point in the process did you realize there was going to be one solution or no solution? We didn't have to do the whole thing. What tells us there's going to be no solution? As soon as you get the I. Where does the I come from?
negative square
The
root.
negative. So we didn't have to worry about all this. Right here we say, oh, there's no real solution. Okay? When did we realize there was only one solution? Well, this became 0, right? That was like a +0 there, or really a plus minus 0. Okay? So once that became 0, oh, there's only one solution. And when this was +4, that tells us, wait, there's going to be 2 solutions. We're going to have to do this thing twice. Okay? So that stuff under the radical, that's really important. That's what determines whether there's one solution, no solution, or 2 solutions. Okay? So when did we discover that? After evaluating the radical stuff, right? Something along that line, right? Okay, after we evaluated the radical, or the stuff under the radical. And that stuff under the radical has a name. It's called the discriminant. It's discriminating. It says you get 2 solutions, you get 1 solution, you don't get any. Don't cry about it. Okay, so that's the discriminant. B squared minus 4AC. Do you have to memorize it? Yes. It's in the quadratic formula. You already got it memorized, hopefully, to a tune. Okay? So B squared minus 4AC, that's the discriminant. That's the stuff that decides if there's 1 solution, 2 solutions, or no solutions. Okay? So if that's a positive perfect square, like we had a 4 up above, how many solutions did we get? We had 2, right? Okay? So when it was like a nice neat 4, we had 2 rational solutions. Rational meaning they come out to like an integer or a fraction. Okay? So when it's positive perfect square, we get 2 rational solutions. Okay? And when it's a positive non-square number, like if that was a 14, a square root of 14, well, we'd still have 2 answers, but they would be irrational. The square root of 14, so this is 2 irrational solutions, okay? So how many solutions? We have 2 of them, and they're irrational. If it's 0, like the first one up top, how many solutions did we get? There's just 1 solution. 1 real solution. But if it's a negative number, no real solutions. There are imaginary, but there's no real solutions. Okay? And in many applications, that's all we care about. Okay? So if we just want to know the number of solutions, we don't need to compute the whole thing. We just need B squared minus 4AC. Okay? All right. Okay, let's wrap up with this and we'll take a break here. Okay. We've got B squared minus 4AC. That's all we care about. The question is, how many solutions? Sorry, part of the instructions are on the first page, it looks like. But, okay. B squared minus 4AC. And all we really care about is if it's negative or positive. Negative 3 squared minus 4 times negative 1. Is that going to be positive, negative, or 0? Should be positive, right? We got positive 9 and positive 16, right? So that's 9 plus 16. That's 25, right? So how many solutions? 2. Okay, so 2 solutions. Okay. They'll be rational, by the way, because we can take the square root of 25, but okay, good. What about this guy? B squared minus 4ac. 2 squared minus 4 times 5 times 3. That's looking negative, right? 4 times 5 times 3. That's 4 minus like 60, I think it is. That's definitely negative. What does that mean about our solutions? No real solutions. This graph would be floating above or below the axis. Okay. Ooh, giant numbers here. Okay. Let's rely on someone pulling out their calculator. Negative 24 squared minus 4 times 9 times 16.
0.
Is it 0?
Yep.
All right. Should we? All right, 0. Perfect. Okay. What does that mean? One solution. One solution, one x-intercept. And last but not least, b squared minus 4ac. 5 squared minus 2 times, 4ac. 4 times 2 times 1. That looking like a positive number, right?
17.
Yeah, okay. So 25 minus 8, 17. 2 solutions, okay? That's the key. All right, so we'll leave it there, okay? Any questions there? So we got this magic silver bullet, the quadratic formula. It always works, okay? And the discriminant, the stuff under the square root, will tell us how many solutions we have. Sometimes that's all we care about. We don't want to find the solutions. We just want to know if they're there, okay? And we're going to leave it at that. For the sake of time, when we come back, we're going to skip this. I'll send out a little video on this. It's a small thing. I don't think it shows up. I'll have to check to see if it shows up on my Open Math. But I'll send out a little quick video. We can look at that later. So, all right, let's take a break and take a few minutes there if you need to finish that up, or you have questions on the quiz there on those last questions. Hopefully, we can polish that up now. Okay. All right. So take a break. We'll get started in about 5-6 minutes. Yeah. Yes. Are you leaving again?
Yeah, well, my parents are out of town, so I get to pick up my sister.
Oh, the sister. Sisters are good for something.
I keep doing this. I'm still trying to figure it out.
That's totally fine. I understand. Let me give you, what are we doing here? This is 9-3, 9-4. I don't think we're really going to get into that, but I'll give it to you just in case. There's always hope.
And then I was looking on my Open Math
Yeah.
because I thought these were posted on there. Are they?
So they're posted here. Can I show her this real quickly? Okay, no, you're fine.